Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Gabriel Santos here. And in today's video, I'm going to be using a whiteboard. Woohoo! Okay. So, my intention for today's video is that you walk away with a brand new insight that will ultimately help you make the transformation in your life that you're looking to make. Now, before I get into that, I must preface that by saying most of this, if not all of this, comes from my own personal experience, books I've read, courses I've taken, but ultimately they are what helped me in my own life and create the life that I want. Okay, but just because I wanted my life to go a certain way doesn't mean that you have to make your life go that same way too. This is all about what you want. Okay, so let's start by saying this, right? When I first diagnosed myself as addicted, what that was really about was me feeling like I had no control and me blaming marijuana for why I was unhappy, unfulfilled, and unsuccessful. Okay, and this is kind of the first thing to really look at here, is that me blaming marijuana, right? I made it marijuana's fault. And so because of that, my logical goal was to remove marijuana from my life, right? Or something of that nature. Like I needed to be done with pot because I was blaming pot for all the reasons why my life was going the way it was going. When in reality, it wasn't pot's fault, it was mine. Okay? Because the truth is that two guys can have the same results, Jim and Ben, right? They can both make, let's just say 70K a year, both have a family, and both be happy. And yet, Jim smokes weed, Ben does not. Okay? And in a similar manner, Sean and Jack can both be broke, both be single, both be depressed, yet Sean smokes weed and Jack does not. My point here is that the weed does not determine necessarily if you're having a great life or not. Just as not smoking weed doesn't determine if you have a great life or not. But the thing is, for those of us who are not happy in life, not fulfilled, or not at the current stage that we want, and we identify as addicted or dependent, we make weed the focus of what we need to change. When really, our weed use is just a symptom of the deeper cause, which is our own inner change. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. It's very likely that the way that you use marijuana currently doesn't help you, right? So, for example, there is a difference between running to weed to avoid yourself and using weed to aid your success, right? But my bet is that you probably use marijuana in ways that hinder you currently, right? But the confusing part is when and how do you know when you can finally use weed responsibly? Especially if you're someone who's done the following path, let's say 5 years abusive smoking, go 6 months off, smoke again, go back to abusive smoking, go 1 week off, smoke again because you feel in control again, but go back to abusive smoking. Okay. To me, the real thing that you want to become aware of is become aware of your abusive smoking pattern. Okay. And avoid that at all costs. And abusive smoking can look simply as like choosing to be stoned instead of facing your raw emotions, choosing to be stoned instead of going on that daily walk, choosing to be stoned instead of honoring your natural state of consciousness weed-free. Because for the stoner, right, for someone who has a history of indulging and loving being stoned, the desire / craving to be high can and will likely always sound like a fun, awesome, innocent idea, okay? When in reality, there are actually times when being stoned is not a good idea. When being stoned is actually negative, okay? Not that pot is negative, not that being stoned is negative by default, but for your life, what you're up to, and your values, there are clearly times when smoking is not the right thing to do for you, okay? And what I mean by this, okay, let's just take myself for example. Okay, so for me, for Gabe, I value being present, being emotionally available, and growing every day, right? And for Gabe, I know that there are certain patterns of of THC consumption that aligns with that and doesn't align with that, okay? So for example, using THC every day doesn't align with Gabe's preferred version of life, okay? Smoking THC doesn't align with Gabe. Using THC as a primary emotional coping strategy does not align with Gabe. Choosing to be stoned instead of doing my morning ritual does not align with Gabe, right? So for you, start to ask yourself, what are the ways of using THC that just rub you the wrong way after the fact? Where the next day, you're just like, why did I do that? Okay. And then on the flip side, these are the ways that do align with me, right? Using THC on Tuesdays, if I complete my mega challenging beach workout, right? Allowing myself to use THC on the weekend, 1 or 2 days. Only using edibles and only using about 40 milligrams per session per day, right? Because I've learned through trial and error that taking more than 1 serving of 40 milligrams is wasteful and leads to a decrease in performance. Okay. So in fact, we can actually simplify this. So just through my own understanding, trial and error experience, I already know that doing it these ways sorry guys, I'm trying to figure this out right here. Doing it those ways leads me in the wrong direction, makes me less happy, makes me less fulfilled. Not what I want. I'm very crystal clear that smoking in these ways or using THC in these ways doesn't lead me down the road I want to go. Whereas using it this way, whoa, sweet. Using it those ways typically allows me to keep growing and enjoy THC responsibly. Who would have thought, right? And so for you, list out what ways of using THC bring negative energy to my life. And this is the tricky part, is that the negative ways will bring you positive feelings in the short term, but negative in the long term. Okay? Even the negative long-term usage will feel good short term. Okay? And then ask yourself, additionally, what ways of using THC bring positive energy to my life long term? Okay, these are your 2 questions to ask yourself right here. What ways of using THC will help me long term, and what ways of using THC will bring me negative energy long term? Okay, and if I just had to guess, if I just create some random things for you, spending over 100 a week on THC doesn't work for you. Never being sober doesn't work for you. Being emotionally dependent, always needing to be stoned to feel good, doesn't work for you. You know, so, and then some short, some positive ones is like when I smoke after completing my daily responsibilities, right? When I use THC to meditate, okay? When I use THC as an emergency bulb, if I can't get out of a stressful state on my own. When I only spend less than $25 a month on THC, all right? Those are just some examples. And so the final thing I think I want to give you guys today is to ask yourself, what are my values? And what I mean by that, if you've never heard this term, is, for example, one of my values is self-control. Another one is happiness. Another one is flexibility, right? Another one is continuous growth. Okay, so if we go back to some of the ways, okay, if I use THC every day, that does not lead to continuous growth for me. Okay, if I use THC every day, that does not give me self-control, but that would give me short-term happiness, but it would also it would not give me happiness long-term. And it kind of would give me flexibility because I'm allowing myself to smoke weed, you know, it's fun. But then if I become addicted, I'm no longer flexible because I have to smoke, right? Whereas if I use THC on Tuesdays and then twice on the weekend, all the time in between, I'm growing. And even when I use THC on the Tuesdays, I'm also growing because then I get to utilize the benefits of when I'm on the THC, right? I'm actually in a state of reflection. I'm actually enjoying that consciousness with the plant, as opposed to just like, let me just get fucking stoned and fall asleep. Nothing wrong with that. That's just not the way of using marijuana that I like. I want to use it for a purpose. I don't just want to go to sleep and like be mindless. I want to have a beautiful experience, right? And when I use THC only 3 times a week or so, I get to experience self-control. And when I'm continually growing, that makes me happy. And then I get to still use THC, which also makes me happy, right? And then there are some days where, you know, I'll be flexible, where it's like, okay, I'm not going to smoke today, or there are some days where I'm like, you know what, I'm going to use THC today. However, you know, I still am mindful that the whole everyday THC thing doesn't work for me. So I have to be very mindful and keep track of how often I'm using it, because it's very easy to just be like, oh, this is a great idea. Oh, this is a great idea. Oh, this is a great idea. When really it's not a great idea every time. Okay, that's just me though. All right, so for you, your values might be something like, you know, feeling relaxed, relaxing. Another one is, you know, you like deep focus, you like creativity, and you like mental clarity. See, so this is what happens, guys, is on one level, marijuana satisfies certain values, but then it completely contradicts other ones, right? So if you're someone who likes mental clarity, using THC every day probably may not help you. And it might. Guys, and this is what the thing is I know a lot of us here, like, we have a lot of negative feelings around our pot use, but really, like, for some people, they use pot and it's all beneficial for them, but it's in the way that they use it. Okay? So at the end of the day, this is all about removing the aspect of your cannabis dynamic that doesn't serve you, and including the aspects that do serve you, and only keeping aspects that do serve you, because it doesn't make any sense otherwise. Now, here's another tricky part. Oh, Lord, right? Is that, oh my God. Okay, so let's say you get stressed, okay? Using THC serves you in the moment to help you get relaxed from stress. But then you eat 1,000 calories of Cheetos. So then it hurts. So then it hurts you in terms of health. And then out of guilt, because of what you just did, you smoke more. So it helps you reduce guilt, but then you end up sleeping late without doing your homework. And then the next morning, you don't have homework and you're stressed, so you smoke. All right? So I'm just going to leave that there just to kind of like put that in people's face, because yes, we have conflicting values where, oh my God, it helps me with stress, but then it hurts me because I'm not being disciplined. And it's like, okay, that's another video for another time, but I just wanted people to see that, right? Okay. All right, so I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, or opinions, I'd love to know if you like this whiteboard, online whiteboard setup. I'm hoping that the fucking audio was good enough. But in any case, I enjoy this way of using it. I hope you guys did too. But until next time, see you guys. Peace.